Hello and welcome to Decorative. My name is Mary and this is Wes, and tonight's episode is episode 42, and we're talking about gold leaf tonight, or gold leaf flakes, or silver flakes, whatever you want to call it.
Gold fluff.
Golden awesomeness is basically what it is. Hobby Lobby has gold, silver, multicolored. There's one that has like a patina kind of color to it.
It's like a gold and blue and brass and
orange.
Has a little green in it.
Yeah, like it looks really good. I saw somebody, I don't remember who it was. I wish I'd take notes on this, but they did it as their main, like where the wrap would go or the marbling would go, and it was in that area, and they basically just did the whole thing with gold leaf on it, right? And it gave kind of this patina look, and I wish I could give credit to who it was. I feel like it was Flamekeeper I saw, but it might not have been him, so if it was, you did a great job. If it wasn't,
You still did a great job.
You did a great job. I just forgot who I was looking at. I apologize. But the application of gold leaf is something that I feel is underrated because it's so easy to do. And it's not time consuming at all. Just messy. It's very messy. Bill Falconer is the one that actually, who I saw kind of introduce it. I don't know if he was the first one to actually use it or not, but I think he was the first person I saw use it on the dragon scales, and he's got a full tutorial on his Mastering Rod Building YouTube page where it was when it was Falconer rods, but you know that's been absorbed by Mastering Rod Building. But he was going through how he did his dragon scale, and then he came back with this gold leaf, and his that he had was this book that he had a bunch of sheets that was in it. So you had a bunch of different colors and stuff, and you could pull out the sheets and use it. And the way that we use the gold leaf stuff is they have like this median, I don't really know, it looks like CP honestly, but you apply it to any area that you want to put the gold leaf on. You let it dry, and then you take the gold leaf or the silver flake or whatever color you're working with, and you literally just stick it, which is where the mess comes in because it starts to just disintegrate because it's really, really fragile. But you just stick it all over the place, and then you take a really fluffy brush, like super fluffy brush, really like super fluffy. My kids want to paint with this all the time, and I keep telling them, no, this is just for gold flake. But this is specifically just to knock off. I know, did you see the dust come out of that? I'm going to put it, that was awful. But once you get the flakes on there, then you start brushing off all the extra, and then be prepared. This is worse than glitter, I promise you. It is poof all over the place. Hindsight, get yourself a vacuum, shop vac while you're doing this so it sucks it all back up. Or if you want to, try to salvage it, and really those little tiny pieces that are coming off isn't really worth you trying to salvage, but it is messy. And you just brush all the extra stuff off, and it will show you any places that you're missing, and then you just come back with more and add it to the spots that are sticking up that didn't get covered, and then you're done. Like, all you got to do is put a clear coat over it. So
now, what happens if you don't get all the fluff off?
Well, it's going to pull off into like epoxy or something like that.
So make sure to get it all off.
Yeah, and okay. I mean, really, I meant to grab it too, but those little sponge paint brushes that you usually use whenever you're a kid, the big like rectangulars that go down to a point, the sponges, and they're on a handle. You use that to poke it on there, and it really gets into all the little, especially if you're doing a dragon scale, gets into all the little highs and lows, and you just kind of stab it on there. It's kind of fun, you just
stab it.
Yeah, you get to.
I'm more interested now.
You get to like really take it out some anger with it, because you're not going to hurt the rod or anything, because you got a sponge brush and you're just if the kids are working your nerves that day, go do some gold flake. But that's how you do it on the dragon scale. It's also how you would do it on a wrap. Other things that I think would be cool to use it for, like if you're really meticulous about how you apply the median, you could use it for trims on guides. You know, just a single little doop around it, you know, especially the under wrap. That'd be easier to do.
It'd probably be easier if you took like black thread and laid down single trims and then did it in between them.
Well, the easier way to do it would be to plan where you're going to put your trim, do the gold, and then wrap your black around it, or whatever color you're going to do around it. That way you can wrap over any little raggedy edges that you may or may not have. A lot of people put it in the grip, like on the handle. We've got some photos tonight from some people that have done it. Don Livingston especially likes to do it on his grips.
The wooden grips.
Wooden grips. And they look really great. And it comes in a lot of different colors. It's not just gold and silver, or that patina kind of, I don't really know what that color collage is called. It's 3 or 4 colors in it. But I've actually got a bottle of it over there. But those are the flakes. The flakes, I think, are harder to work with than the sheets that Bill was talking about. So that's really it. You know, like, it's just apply the medium, let it dry, and stick it on there. So let your mind kind of go crazy. You could do little designs, you know, like a heart, for instance, or a circle, and you could just put it, those could be your new alignment dots. Think outside the box with it, you know, and then it'd be like, well, oh my gosh, if you use gold, how'd you get gold on there, you know, because a lot of times it's not super textured as long as you get it really attached on there, but then there is some that has a texture to it, so you kind of have.
So what would happen if you took size D or C thread, CP'd it in place in a design, and then put the gold leaf over top of it?
I'm sure it would take on the design.
Would it show the ridges?
I'm sure it would. Yeah, because, I mean, you got to think about how it was with the dragon scale. It shows the ups and downs. And it's more drastic with the gold leaf or gold flake, whatever you want to call it tonight, than it is with metallic thread. Because it really shows the ups and downs of the actual thing. So you get a little bit more reflective quality to it, if you will.
If you can't tell, I've never messed with gold leaf, so.
He was like, I don't know anything about it. But I was like, it's okay. It's real easy. But I do want to show some of the pictures that a couple of people sent in from Southern of the stuff that they've done. And first one up is Derek Beamer. Derek has a textured kind of one that he put in the butt. And this, I think this one is a Suka 2 handle.
It looks like a Suka.
It tapered in. I kind of had to trim it off a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Suka, honestly.
Suka or G2.
One of the two. But that one's got a texture to it. And I kind of dig it, you know, especially for the butt. Gives it a little bit of more.
I'm going to need you to reword that.
What?
I dig it for the butt.
Were you doing butt jokes tonight, too?
Apparently.
Another one in Derek. So he actually used it on the hood.
The Unilock hood.
The Unilock hood. So instead of putting like the EVA, I don't know if you guys watched the video where I turned down a piece of EVA to put on one of those. He used that probably on the carbon fiber one, maybe. Or maybe he put it straight on the Unilock. I don't know. But you can use that to customize your rods as well. Really cool look. And it matches what looks like a gold, or he may have
done it on the blank too. Yeah.
Yeah, he did it on the blank there too. You can see the texture. So it is just a little bit of a texture, so it kind of gives it a little bit of personality, but I think I really like it.
His look more like the sheets than
I think they are.
The actual flakes.
I
It's
would
too
agree.
consistent to...
Yeah, because you can kind of see where the patches, where it changes in the Unilock. Still looks good though. I dig it. Don Livingston. I'll put his name up there. We actually saw this in the customized reel seat episode way back on one of our first ones when we started doing pictures. But the two in the middle, that gold one, the one that has the gold hoods, that one is what we're talking about with that kind of multicolored looking one, because it has the copper and like a kind of, what is it? Like the green color, there's a blue color in there, like that's what that is. And then there's that copper one that's also the gold leaf. So it comes in a lot of different colors. You can get a lot of different stuff. But you can tell in this one how you can see the ups and downs a lot more than you would if it had metallic thread over it.
Right. Well, it sinks down more.
Yeah. Well, because it's thin. You know, it's paper thin.
Thinner than paper.
It's itty bitty. Don Livingston again. We got to zoom out for us to appreciate this photo. So he won first place last year, I believe.
Yes, 2024.
And He took a picture with his trophy, as anybody should. Very cool photo. But here is the part where he incorporated the gold leaf. But this is blue. Bluish. Purple? Blue?
A little more purple than blue, but yeah.
A little mix of that. But I'm assuming, I didn't get a chance to ask him, but I'm assuming he kind of like creates the cavities and then puts the gold flake, colored flake in there, and then seals over everything so that it stays in that one spot, because it looks like it's recessed.
That, or just coats it and doesn't worry about detail and then sends it down to detail.
Yeah. And then he also has a fish up here that he did. Definitely a easier way to add images to grips than what I do with the EVA. 100%.
But could you do that? You couldn't do that with EVA because you'd have to soak the entire EVA and then build it up, and you'd lose the purpose of using EVA.
What do you mean?
Like,
you put the gold leaf on EVA?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd have to treat it kind of like what Nuno does when he puts the resin in. You'd have to make a cavity, put it in there, and then, but you'd also have to see, because EVA will soak up every liquid, so you're going to have to see how that medium kind of dries in that cavity. It should be okay, but does it create a hard place also around that?
Right.
You know, so it didn't have to be a trial and error thing. Don Livingston, a great example of what I call the Bill Falconer's gold leaf dragon scale. I really think he was, I don't remember if he came up with it or if he was showing somebody else had shared with him, but I just know that Bill's the one that was teaching it. But very textured, very scale-like with this look.
Looks a lot more like scales than other examples.
And then obviously you come back and fill in with epoxy and create a smooth finish, but it looks very scaly even when it's smooth.
Look like one of them dang old gator.
A very close-up version of Don's grips. So obviously he's got to go blue, and he did the background with the blue flake, blue purple flake. It's blue. It has purple in it though. Once again, I'm guessing it's a recessed cavity around the M Go Blue, and put that in there and then seal
I'm calling
over
it purple just because of the team.
Who is that team?
Michigan.
You know me, I don't know my teams at all. That's a good way to use it though. I mean, and easy. It's definitely a lot easier than trying to inlay like abalone or something into those little sections, mother of pearl, and you still get the same kind of cool effect from it. Another set of Don's grips. You can see where he's found all the colors. So obviously there's a lot of colors out there that you can use for this, and uses this to add customization to his handles. That blue's pretty.
The light blue?
Well, that light blue mixed in with the dark blue, like it looks like water. All kinds of little symbols and stuff. Pictures. What is that at the bottom? Is that a frog?
You know, I don't know.
Can't tell.
Maybe a whale?
Something spitting water, yeah?
Looks like it.
Maybe. And it's got RA. He's got name on there. I don't know what that is. Rexel?
It's got to be the symbol for Rexel.
Yeah. Very cool. Another one of Don's. He's found a green kind of color. This one's cool too. Got the, I doubt it's the same team, but it has the Trojan kind of hat at my
Spartans.
school. Is it Spartans? Okay. Yeah, it's a Trojan hat from our high school. Or my high school. And then he did a letter S.
I didn't go there. Don't put me in that declassification.
Hey. We were technically better than y'all were, just not in football.
Trophies prove otherwise.
Like I said, not in football.
Or wrestling. Or basketball. Or baseball.
You guys, no, we were just better academically. That was it. Which isn't much to say, honestly.
It paid off better.
It's really not much better. Y'all got better scholarships. Anyways. Trinity Veteran Rods. Another example of the dragon scale with the gold leaf.
Multicolor in it.
And then it's...
I feel like it's in that epoxy ramp too. Yeah.
I was looking at that. It's different. Oh man, he's going to make me zoom in really deep.
Just don't lose it.
Right? I'm almost like at the reds at the edge. It might be gold flake, but I can't tell. Or it could be just something else. But this is definitely... The wrap is definitely the gold flake. And our last picture is just a little bit better view of the actual dragon scale. So as you can see, not many people are playing around with it. So I feel like this is one of those things that you can take it because it's a genre that's not popular. And
it's not as popular as a lot of others, no.
And really, like, make your own kind of signature with stuff. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, there's all of us doing EVA. We're doing wraps. We're doing dragon scales with metallic thread. We're doing, marbling. We're doing all this other stuff. But there's only just a few people that are playing around with the gold flake and the metallic flake, whatever. I would assume Amazon probably has a lot of stuff if you look under metallic flake and just kind of fine colors. I know that Hobby Lobby specifically only has like 3 or 4, and they definitely don't have the blues and the greens.
No.
I picked up gold, silver, and that random colored one, and that was the only ones I saw. I didn't see the bronze, I didn't see red, I didn't see blue, or any of that other stuff. So
you'll have to excuse me. It's yellow season here.
Yes, and my dear husband suffers from a pollen allergy. Are you gonna sneeze? Don't eat blueberries, bananas, ice cream.
It went away. Okay.
So it's one of those things where you can start to make your own kind of signature. And think about it, time-wise, it doesn't take that much time. And it looks really good. As long as you start to kind of practice like an aesthetic. And take it one side. Do you have to cover the entire section of the blank where the wrap area is going to be? No. We get also kind of, I don't know, my brain just went into like kind of create like a zigzag.
Oh, Lord.
Like where maybe you got the blank that's painted and you want to add gold flake to it, and like it looks like the gold flake's like breaking out of the blank, or the blank's coming out of the gold flake, whichever one you want to look at it with. And then, Alice. But the split grip area, things where we got to have thread ramps. Why can't we put it over the thread ramp if you're going to plan on doing epoxy over top of it? Maybe even, like I said, under wrap area for guides where you can do trim bands, tie-offs, handles, real seats, the butt. Like, there's so many different places that you could incorporate this stuff and make it look cool,
Michael's, Amazon link.
Michael's. Oh, well, thank you. Now I gotta go. I can't spend any
Jim,
more money.
you need to stop.
I can't spend any more money.
Not today.
I blew every bit of spending budget money for the last 3 months on cameras and microphones.
Because now we get to do this.
No. We were supposed to have one on Wes. You guys that are late for the show, the camera we're looking at right now was actually set up to be on Wes, and then this one was for when I was just talking, because I had this idea to have an automated podcast, because I got on YouTube one night and I said, I can do that. There is a reason why people are hired to do this, because I don't understand the stuff. Would you stop? I have to stop. Stop touching the buttons. There's a reason why people get hired to do this stuff, because they know more about it and they don't have to do the research. And I've spent this entire week, actually I spent 3 weeks going into this little hole that I put myself into doing the research and purchasing the cameras and then figuring out how I'm supposed to do it. And then I'm like, oh, I can do an automated one, because it would be cool without me having to do this. Now I got to get a third camera to do this if I want to do this the right way, and figure out how to, if I'm talking, the camera's on my face, and if Wes is talking, the camera's on his face. So you're not watching one of us drinking our drink, or like he's doing right now, staring off.
I'm watching. I'm watching.
Or sneezing or whatever else is going on. But my budget's blown. I can't do anything. But I will save it for later. Aren't those gold leaf sheets pretty expensive? Yeah, they're not that bad. It's not
Usually
that bad.
you can get kits for like $10 or $20.
They're really not that bad. I mean, the gold flake jar I got, it's like the silver and the gold one, like this tall, this big around. I don't know how many ounces is in it, because there's so much in it, and they're light as it all can be. They're only like $4.99 at Hobby Lobby. The median, I think, is actually what costs more, or the same as those 2 jars. But it's, like I said, it looks like CP. It comes in that, and a little goes a long way. So it's not that expensive, honestly. But yeah, like, think outside the box and kind of play around with what you can and can't do with it. I mean, it'd be cool to incorporate it. If you did marbling and you kind of ended up with like this kind of, I I say marble, but like your marble countertops where it has like the actual marble, like the streets, like you could put a little line of gold along the outside, make it look like a geode, you know.
Put it over top of the marbling and
out do little lines of it,
Yep.
and just make a line, make it look like you put marble on
a marbled rod.
A marbled rod, marble
over top of marbling, and marble it.
Somebody be like, you put too much weight on it. Didn't you know?
That man's gonna cause the episode.
I already got plans for the Mythbusters this year, so it's fine. I'll just add that one to
That might be next
the list
because somebody asked for it.
I want to get somebody on the next one. Well, it might not be the next one, maybe the one after, because we have to figure this out still. Still got to figure this out. Yeah. Not a whole lot that you can't do with gold flake, in my opinion, because you're adding minuscule weight to the entire thing. So
I know one thing you can't do with it.
What?
Cover the whole rod.
Yeah, well, you technically could, but I wouldn't want to clear coat the whole thing.
You shouldn't.
You do have
unless you live in Florida.
You do. You do have to cover it. Like, it does have to be sealed, so you can't just, like, put it on there and expect it's going to stay, because over time you're going to wear it off, and then you'll just be left with what was underneath of it. Saw a video somewhere of a guy playing with chopped carbon fiber and gold leaf and coloring leaf sheets, and it got the brain wheels turning.
Well, it's like how NFC shows them making their carbon grips, where they're actually laying the carbon down, and
oh yeah,
then you could incorporate the gold leaf with that and cover it all.
See, I'd be curious to see if, like, the gold leaf would withstand, like, if you put it in between somewhere, like, somehow incorporate it, like, maybe you'd have to cut a cavity with sanding, but with your cork rings, when you glued them together and sand it down, then you got these little gold little lines that run through the grips, look like little trims. Then it looked like I put a gold plate in there. You really didn't.
Right.
But, and then you didn't add any weight to it.
Jim, it means I have only seen fully epoxied rods come out of Florida.
Not you.
I don't name names.
Not
but
you.
That's the only place I've ever seen it happen.
No, there's the reasoning, the old school mentality down there for some of them is that if they cover the entire rod from butt to tip with rod building epoxy, not just a clear coat, rod building epoxy from butt to tip, that it will keep it from getting beat up as bad. And that's out of the mouths of people that live in Florida. And it's always just a little poke in the side for people that live in Florida. Funny story, I have two now I'm repairing. See? You know what I mean.
Truth hurts.
But no, we weren't saying anybody I know specifically doesn't do that.
You do know somebody.
Oh, I do know somebody. I'm lying. I'm sorry. I fibbed. My apologies. Anyways, I bet you guys want to...
Y'all want something for free, don't you?
No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to talk about a product of the night right now, which is rod building kits.
So there's currently a spinning rod kit, casting rod kit, ice rod kit, and fly rod kit. I noticed in particular that the ice rod kit, if you look up at the top there, it says it will build 3 rods. That's 3 ice rods in one kit. The fly rod kit, you can get the option to select a few different sizes and weights, but it's one of those things where if you want to get into a different style of rod, so say you only build ice rods and you want to build a fly rod, or you only build fly rods, but hey, let me build a casting rod for bass. It's something easy to do that if you don't have all the necessities, you can go ahead and jump in and be able to have a hand wrapper, have a dryer, have everything you need to build that all in one.
Well, they're great starter kits for, like your kids, or spouses, girlfriends, cousins.
Or
nephews.
if you want to turn that into a business, teach other people, and they pay that plus you teaching. It's easy to do.
Little side money. Or it's also great, like, if you're just looking at not necessarily the full kits that have, like, all of the, the stands and things of that nature, but who doesn't want more stands, honestly. I want stands all the time. I have way too many stands, but I use them for various things. But you can get just the actual kits with just the rods, not just the whole full-blown thing.
Yep.
But Hunter and Chris did talk about it actually this past Tuesday on their live, talking about the kits, because they just came out with their cool little boxes that they have with all the little graphics and stuff all over them. So it's, you know, it's one of those things where you might not be familiar. Maybe you want to like throw together a bass rod just to practice around with it or play with it, or maybe you're going up to go to an area where you can ice fish and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing with the ice rod. Well, that's a good kit, and then you can just build it, and then from there you can kind of tweak what you didn't like, what you liked, what didn't work, you know, all that kind of stuff. And also great presents to give people. They really were interested in it. I always think about kids.
Well, most people watching are either first getting into it, so they need all the stuff to build it, or you've been building long enough that you're doing it as a business, and somebody's asked you, hey, can you teach me how to do this?
Bring in a rod kit. Come spend some time in my
Charge
shop.
them $350, $400, buy that kit. They take everything home. Now they can start building, and then you sell them supplies.
Yep. And you help somebody get started in rod building. And it's fun teaching, because it actually, once you start teaching, you actually realize you do know more than you think you do, or you realize what you need to learn.
Yep.
It's
practice
going
on.
to point out your positives and your negatives 100%. Ask me how I know. But it will actually help you, because I know a lot of times when I'm teaching people, there's times, and I told you over the years, there's times where I have been asked the same question and I'm like, I don't know. But I do know. I just didn't hear it phrased the way that my brain needed to put it together. And while I'm talking about it one random 5 years later, it finally clicked and I went, oh, I do know that.
That's not just when she's teaching. It's all about the wording. Trust me.
What? Bruh.
I ain't lying. And she knows it. That's why she's laughing.
It is about the wording, because me and him will argue about some stuff.
Saying the same exact
Saying
thing.
the same thing, but I can't understand what he's saying. Anyways, kids that are interested, or you know a friend that might want to do it, but you don't think they really are super hardcore into it. You know, it's a great little testing ground for it. But traveling, like, you know, and you're going to an area where you're not familiar with the fishing, but you know that that's kind of generally the purpose for it. Good place to get them. First time seeing your podcast. Love it. Thank you.
Welcome in.
Welcome to Decorative. I've had several people want to learn. He's laughing at us now. Yeah, it's Herb. You know what you're doing.
I mean, it's easy to teach somebody, and you make money for your time, and them benefit from you doing it.
And always send them home with homework. You know, go home and finish. Don't ever bring somebody to your shop and tell them to put epoxy on and then take the rod home. Don't do that. Epoxy needs to be done either the beginning of the day,
Either have them come back the second day so that they can pick it up after the first coat,
so they can
or
do it.
send it home and do the epoxy.
And it has to dry in your shop, you know, but don't ever give them a fresh epoxy and let it dry for an hour and send them home, because it's not going to make it. So don't do
It's going
that.
to stick to the roof of the car.
They're going to be mad because it's going
Ask
to be
me how I know.
It's going to be stuck to everything. So don't do that. Don't do that. The other thing, I'm sure you guys have been waiting on, giveaway time.
Tonight,
We have given this away, but it's such a good tool.
and it applies to doing dragon scale, or not dragon scale,
The gold
leaf and silver leaf, and leaf effects over things.
Leaf effects.
So you've got two different style of scissors. One, I believe, has a curved head.
Yep.
Correct?
It curves up.
One is a straight head. Then you have a blunt nose pair of tweezers,
It's like big grabber.
a very fine point pair of tweezers, and the pick, which the pick, I will suggest sand that down just a hair. It is pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, it'll poke a hole in
A lot of things,
a lot of fingers
including
included.
skin.
I've done that. But if you round off that point, it actually is really good for packing and pushing things around, and just a general great
Moving
overall
dragon scales.
purpose tool, as long as you sand that point off, because that point's a little too sharp. But the other thing with those gold flakes, I'm calling them leaves now because you said that. But the gold flakes, like, obviously, you don't want any of the flake to touch the median if you're trying to save it, right? So if you've got this big giant sheet and you only got a little itty bitty section, cut it with those. The turned up ones is the ones I like. The ones that have a little bit
of a tilt.
I use those for the feathers and for basically the gold leaf stuff. Every once in a while for cutting thread, but not really. I like just to use a razor blade because usually when I try to use the scissors and get all fancy and I get tags. But those work out really good for salvaging those big sheets, or even taking the flakes like I have, which is, they're anywhere from like this big to itty bitty pieces and all kinds of sizes. So if you've got a big piece, just cut it down and then smash it in there so you're not wasting so much. Yep, use the big tweezers are good. But the only thing is, if you're going to use tweezers with it, that stuff tears ridiculously. Super ridiculously. So just use the fine tool, not the big fat one, because for some reason the fat one's like, you know, and it just rips it.
Say that again.
Gotta do the face.
Say it again.
Anyways, what's the question for them to win this?
So, what year was the first ICRBE?
Oh, that just came out in an article recently.
What year was the first International Custom Rod Building Exposition? I don't want to know where.
Just the year.
Just the year.
Yep, Herb did win it before. They come in handy. I like the toolkit. I like to give it away.
If you need a hint, I'm 38 and I was in 9th grade. No, 11th grade.
Are you sure?
Jim Lewis wins.
Look, Jim. Jim's on it. Duncan, you were off. Oh, just 2 years. Yeah, 2004. 2004 was the very first one, so it's been 21 years? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, 21. Thank you.
Because we're missing our 20 reunion to go to ICAST.
Yeah, that's right. 21 years. Don't care, actually, about missing it at all. Don't like those people anyways.
Congrats, Jim.
Congratulations, Jim. I still haven't got my hand clapper in. Yay! Maybe that's what I should do. I should record the kids celebrating.
Oh,
It'll
God.
blow everybody's ears out. If I didn't have to worry about copyright, I could hear, let me hear your hands clap. I can make your hands clap.
No.
Right? No? Okay. Anyways. Oh, you were there this year? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Just listen to that podcast with Bill Falconer. That's also another, if you guys aren't familiar with Bill Falconer's podcast, go check it out, Mastering Rod Building. He talks about all kinds of stuff on there.
I'm mad at I'm mad at Bill right now.
Why are you mad at Bill?
Because he didn't post any gold leaf.
I know. You even tagged him.
I even tagged him.
You even tagged him. We're throwing his name out
Matter
there
of
like
fact,
left and right. And
he gonna mess around. I'm gonna call him at 10:15 at night.
Jim,
Like, why didn't you post?
Why didn't I get pictures?
Why didn't I get pictures of your gold leaf?
You can definitely go and check it out on his YouTube. He has the step-by-step of how he did his. I did a really short one with silver. I didn't pull mine in because it was... all I was doing was reiterating what Bill was saying. And, it was just a real short, like, here's the quick version of how you do it. His is more in-depth, very
Fun
detailed.
fact, isn't that how his YouTube started? Is people wanted to know how he did his gold leaf and dragon scales?
It was dragon scales, I think, that he was working on. It was... somebody we were both talking to, because I remember he messaged me about it, and he was like, do you think this would be useful? And I'm like, hell yeah, go put it out there. And that's how his YouTube channel started, so that was fun. Because he was like, I give you credit. And I'm like, don't give me credit for that. Like, just put it out there. You got content, people need to learn how to do it. And he's a good teacher. Mm-hmm. Like, when you take his carbon fiber class, or any of the classes, seminars that he teaches, is great.
Do we get a TCH with carbon fiber grips?
I don't know. Don't know. Herb says background effects are definitely needed. Yep, I agree.
Jim, we need your info.
No, I already have Jim's info.
I know. I need his social security number.
I don't need your info, Jim. We
blood
friends.
type.
I got your stuff. I already know where you live.
Your wife's maiden
That sounds
name.
creepy.
Your mother's maiden name. Firstborn's birthday. What city
Your favorite
you were
pet
born in.
growing up.
And any other security question answers.
What was your favorite?
Where did you and your spouse meet?
Your favorite pet? Think that what it is?
Favorite pet, or your first pet's name.
First pet's name.
Yeah,
Whatever
that
the
too.
case may be. All right. So, want to take a minute and thank our sponsors. Found a Hole Foundation Outdoor Group, one and the same, because they allow us to give away these awesome prizes and also do fun little giveaways and things of that nature all throughout the year. You guys stick around and watch the episode. long enough, or all of the podcasts, then you'll be able to rack up on some cool stuff throughout the year.
Yeah, just answer questions.
And all you gotta do is answer a question. Usually they are pretty easy, and then when we start to give away bigger prizes like the wrappers and things of that nature, they get kind of hard and make you go look for it. But I usually try to throw you a bone and tell you where to find it. But Wes
She
gets
always
mad at me
cheats.
about it.
She always cheats.
I like to help the community out and give them something in return. But Mud Hole is a great place to work for, and I'm really happy to be a partner with them and supporting them. And it's been a fun ride. I started with American Tackle in 22 and got picked up whenever American Tackle was bought out with Mud Hole as a conglomerate under Foundation, and just kind of became a brand ambassador for Mud Hole. So it's been really cool to be able to just teach and travel.
It's really fun to bother Bob.
Yeah, and we love Bob, actually. Bob and I get along really nicely. That's the reason why you see every once in a while we're like, love ya, because we have inside jokes and stuff. But anyways, it's a great company to be around, and if you haven't checked out any of their online rod building classes or their in-person classes, especially the advanced seminar, big fan of that, because you get to go, you get to hang out with a whole bunch of cool people.
And if you come to
learn
the
from them.
Charlotte rod building class, you might
Yeah,
see us.
sometimes we get to pop in for the Charlotte classes that are the in-person. And also, if you're going to Foley, which I highly recommend, well, we keep calling it Foley
Orange
because it's
Beach.
always been Foley, but the Mastering Rod Building Seminars is being held at Orange Beach. Mud Hole and I are coming down there kind of together. We're going to be vendors, and along with the whole list that's been released this week, and it's going to be food, drinks, and a whole lot of fun, along with rod building, learning, and able to purchase stuff. So it's kind of like an extra expo with a little bit more fun to it
At the beach.
at the beach. So you should check it out. If you have questions about it, check out Mastering Rod Building. All the info is underneath that. But the other thing I wanted to say about Mud Hole is thank you. We really appreciate you. And we're going to put Wes to work this year.
Maybe.
You're no longer arm candy anymore. I have not got your package yet, Jim. So it's
What package?
probably, he's sending me something. I didn't ask him what it was. I'll probably see it Monday. Our normal delivery person is out, and so we have substitutes, and they're working our nerves right now.
They don't do package pickups properly. They're on the naughty list.
I've had quite a few. I had to go up to the post office quite a few times this past week because they just refused to pick up packages, even though their package pickup was scheduled. That's neither here nor there. Makes me look bad as a shipper when it's not my fault. They're just lazy when they're doing their jobs. But anyways, now it's time for Q&A. What do you guys have questions about?
Who's going to Mastering Rod Building?
Yeah, who's going to the Mastering Rod Building seminars at Foley?
Who can I expect to pick on?
I know quite a few people that are going. Hopefully Jared gets to go. It's up in the air whether or not.
And if
it's gonna happen.
anybody's going and like needs people to help with Airbnb, we can get you in touch with people.
We can try to help out with that. Oh, I totally forgot to tell people that I got a new EVA color. We didn't even put it over here. Hot pink's missing. We were so stressed out about getting this thing ready.
Grab it.
I
Take the mic off.
Hold on.
Grab it. Don't drop it. And bust their eardrums. It's so pretty.
it's
It smells like new shoes. Sometimes when I get nervous, I just put my nose up to it and
it's hot pink. Finally got hot pink in. I'm super excited about this because now I can add this to the. How many colors I got now? 24? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18,
10.
23. Got 23. Wait, am I missing one? No, I had 22. That's right.
Where's Gray?
23. No, gray's right there. Stop. Hot pink's in, and 3 new colors of the EVA inlay sheets. Very, very happy about this because I've been needing the gray to come in so I wouldn't have to peel off my gray. I actually have a set of grips with gray and burgundy, or gray and maroon coming up that I need to get started on. So I'm really looking forward to doing those. Herb's coming, and Hal's coming with Herb. Oh, that's going to be a team. Oh, yeah, Hal was telling me that you were going to drive, or he's going to drive to you, and you're going to drive the rest of the way, so it's not too much on both of you or whatever. It's a good deal instead of Hal driving, was it like 16, 20 hours for him?
Something like that. It's a long way.
It's a very long way. It's a long way for you too. I mean, for us, it's what, 9 hours? 9.5. Somewhere between 9 and 9.5.
9.5, 10 if we stop for food.
And you're up above us, so you probably got a longer drive than we do. We're going down Thursday. That way we have plenty of time to set up on Friday. Even though it won't take too long. But we can't drive down Friday and set up. Like, there's no way that we'd make it. We'd be up at, what, 2 o'clock? And we'd be exhausted by the time everybody's like, let's go out to eat dinner or whatever. We'd be like, no, we're going to bed.
Going to sleep.
Going to sleep. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thomas, I'm looking forward to them. I've got to get these. You guys can probably see them still hanging out up here, but I'm trying to get through finishing that second wrap, and then I'm going bouncing back to grips. Beetlejuice is still over here. I haven't touched him in a week because I've been trying to get ahead with these because I have to get all 6 of these rods done by April 7th or 8th. Because I have to make sure they get to Oviedo by the 11th, I think, is when he needs them.
They have to be in Oviedo by the 18th.
No, he said the 11th or the 12th, I think.
No, the 18th. We were shooting to have them done by Orange Beach so we could send them back with the guys from Mudhole.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have to ship them.
If anybody's driving.
They might not be. I have to
we
check.
need to clear that up.
But yeah, Thomas, those are going to look good when I get done with them. Kind of excited about them.
Should be done like August.
No, I won't. It's not that long. I do have to get back to making grips because I got 8 or 9 grips that are on order, and then we've got to order that stuff for the hunting themed one,
and that set of 4.
Yep, but that 4's not here yet, and you just finished wrapping guides on Nebula for me, and I figured out what I was going to do. That's what was taking so long. I couldn't figure out how I was going to take the tie-offs to blend to the guides, and I was like, I'll just paint them like I did the tie-offs and call it a day. So, And then the Harry Potter one's almost finished, and then we finally got a real seat in that fit that blank. We kept ordering wrong. Blake measures 15.5 millimeters outer diameter, right? Figured a 16 would fit it. Nope. We tried a different 16. Nope. We had to get an open 17, no insert into it to get it to go on there, and there's still just a little bit of wiggle room, so I said, screw it. I'm not going to worry about getting an insert. I'm just going to put a wrap underneath of it to fill in the space. So that's going to be a bloody nightmare trying to glue that one together, but
won't be that bad.
We'll get it done. All right, well, we are going to wrap it up because
that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Basically, with gold leaf flakes, metallic flakes, whatever color you want to say, it's really easy. Just make sure that you buy the median, whatever it's called. I keep calling it the median, but I don't know. It's a specific thing that is the adhesive. It's milky white. It looks just like color preserver, and you apply it to wet the entire area. A thin coat of it. The directions are on the bottle. They're all going to be slightly different depending on which, metallic flake or whatever that you buy. But you're going to apply it per the directions. You're going to let it dry, and then you're going to take that, like I was talking about, the square sponges that have the angled tips that the kids paint with 9 times out of 10. You're going to take your sheets or flakes, and you're just going to stab it on there, pack it in there, all the little places, and get a big fluffy brush specifically for that and only for that. Don't use it for anything else. And you're going to take it, you're just going to brush all that extra stuff off, creating a whirlwind of glitter that's going to go all over the place. Shop vac is highly recommended while you're doing that, if you remember to. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with the aftermath of gold or metallic flakes all over the place. And then if you see any places that you didn't get any of the gold flake, metallic flakes packed on there, you can come back and reapply it. That stuff it just stays tacky for the metallic flakes. Like, it's just, you can't, like touching it and stuff, like, it's not going to mess it up. So, and once you get everything covered the way that you want it, make sure all that extra stuff is off of it. Really brush it so that you get all the stuff off of it, because you don't want to be dragging it through your epoxy and you have one little random gold piece that's like floating above the rest of the wrap or wherever it is, or you don't want to drag it onto thread and it's not supposed to be there, because then you're going to be like having to pick it out. But using scissors to cut the sheets, if you get the sheets from, I'm pretty sure you got them from Amazon, down to size is a great thing. Tweezers, all that stuff. Gluing EVA together is contact cement. I use the Weldwood contact cement in the red can. Can't spell it, but sizing. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yep. Sizing. Anyways, it's the medium specifically for the stuff. But and then, just think outside the box. You can use it straight to the blank. You can use it over a dragon scale, trim bands, under guides, on the handles and the real seat inserts if you're into doing that.
The windows of the seats, yeah.
Those little peekaboo areas where the inserts stick out. You could put it there. You just have to put epoxy over top of wherever you put it. And thread ramps, alignment dots, the list goes on and on and on. You can use it for polka dots over top of the guide wraps. Like I was saying, you can pretend if you got marbling that looks like granite marble, then you could, that's the word I was looking for earlier, was granite. You could put a little line with a little fine brush, and then you could do little geode gold streaks across it, do all kinds of stuff with it. So think about it, try it out. It's not too expensive. You can get bundles of it on Amazon. You can check out what your local craft stores have in stock. I will say that you're going to get a better deal on Amazon than you would at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but sometimes you can catch them on the deal with their coupons and stuff and get them, 20% off, 15 or 20% off that Hobby Lobby runs every once in a while.
Sometimes half.
Yeah, and Michael's when it goes on sale, kind of depends. But just price check it out, and kind of venture into this side of rod building for the simple fact to be able to stand out from the rest. Because the whole point, especially if you're doing rod, if you're just doing it for fun, do whatever you want to do. If you're trying to make a business out of it and create clientele to come find you, you have to figure out what a signature look is. And this might be your little thing. You might figure out a cool way to incorporate it. Like Don Livingston's doing a lot of cool stuff with it. That's pretty much what he does, he's got it in his hand. Oh, it's not the only thing he does, but he does it in his handles. He's got it on his wraps. He's got it in his real seat inserts, he uses it a pretty good bit. He enjoys it. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He apologized for so many pictures, and I'm like, no, man, they all look good. It's just great content to show people different ways to use it. So make it your own thing. And, somebody wants to argue with you about weight, you can be like, how much does gold leaf actually weigh? By all means, come weigh this rod.
It ain't about weight.
It's not about weight. It's about balance all day long, 110%. If that rod is not balanced, you're going to be fighting it the whole time.
All these people building, it's 2.7 ounces, it's 2.9, this is the lightest rod ever. I don't care. How does it feel?
If it's not balanced, you're gonna fight it, and you're gonna get fatigued regardless of it being light or not. That's the biggest thing. It's gotta be balanced. If it's not balanced, or you don't have to cast it all day. There's different ways of fishing. Tip down, tip up. It sits in a pure, it sits in a salty all day. It sits on an anchor. Like the anchor rods, we have to cast it once or twice a day, maybe. 3 or 4 on a lucky day where it pulls out.
Sits in a gunnel. What's it matter?
Don't matter what it weighs. It matters what the pendulum does whenever it goes. Actually, adding more weight to those helps because of the swing. You just swing it out. Anyways, do you have anything else to add to the gold leaf? The floofers and the fluffers? By the way, if you were questioning where a fluffy brush comes from, this came from Hobby Lobby. Walmart powder brushes for makeup. You can ask your female friends, daughters.
Don't.
You just get one. You just need a big, for recommendations, but what they're called, if you get one from the makeup aisle, it's called a blush, B-L-U-S-H, blush brush. It's a mouthful.
Hold on, do that again.
A blush brush is what it's called. But that works the same because they're also wide. This one came from Hobby Lobby, and I'm pretty sure I probably paid $2 or $3 extra for it than I should have, but it was just there and I didn't want to go to another store. But just anything with soft bristles that will get rid of that stuff is what you're after. And really, that's it. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see some gold flake in your future. And if you do decide to try it, please share it with us. We'd love to look at your designs and builds and things and help you kind of create your own little look. You can always email us at thedecorativestudio@gmail.com or find us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. YouTube, obviously. And we will chat later. Bye.